Radhe Radhe and Namaste. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you to Bhagavad Gita Summit 2023. I'm very excited about this session with Nitai Sevini Mataji on the topic of how to become a favorite devotee of Krishna. Would like to welcome Nitai Sevini Mataji. Namaste. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for gracing this platform and once again coming on JKYog events. We are so excited and I'm personally looking forward to today's session.
I'm equally excited to share about this very, very beautiful topic of how to become a favorite devotee of Lord Krishna with all of you today.
Thank you. I would like to give little introduction about yourself and then we'll request you to give a talk, followed by we will be having some question answer with Mataji. Nitai Sevini Mataji is associated with ISKCON since 1996. Even as a young college student, she was preaching the message of Bhagavad Gita in different schools in Hyderabad city. She graduated in commerce with a master's in education and PG diploma in management of volunteers organization and PhD in education from Andhra University. Mataji has preached in Europe and parts of America the message of Bhagavad Gita. Later in 1999, with her husband Sambadas Prabhu, she started ISKCON Center in Visakhapatnam city. The small ISKCON office has grown today into a beautiful 3-acre land at ocean-facing land in Sagarnagar with work in progress projects like underwater meditation hall, museum, temple of universal peace, Goshala, Vriddha Ashram, orphanage, etc. Presently, she is the principal of Divine Touch School, actively involved in all the activities in ISKCON Visakhapatnam. Mataji is multilingual and her lectures are telecasted in various TV channels. Please join me welcoming Nitai Sevini Mataji with a big round of applause.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for a very warm welcome. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah Namo Pankajanabhaya Namo Pankajamaline Namo Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangri. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Radha Damodar Bhagwan ki jai, apne apne Gurudev ki jai. So, the goal of our life is to go back home, back to Godhead. The essence of human life, the body that we have been granted, is to understand our eternal relationship with Krishna and to go back home, back to Godhead, Goloka Vrindavan, where we belong. But how do we go there? Goloka means it's a different planet altogether. Even in this same planet Earth, if we have to go to some different country, there are endless procedures. There is visa and documentation, and then so many prerequisites just to go to one country to another. Now imagine if we have to go from one planet to another planet. There may be so many prerequisites. In fact, forget about interplanetary travel, but even if we have to attend simply a birthday party or a function in this world, there is something called theme. You have to be dressed in a particular way. You have to, there are certain prerequisites even if you have to enter a party. If they have decided everybody is going to wear red or everybody is going to wear black, then you just have to follow the procedure. So similarly, when we want to enter Krishna's world, Krishna has given a certain prerequisite. See, if you want to go to somebody's house, somebody's party, somebody's residence, there should be something in common. Now, Krishna has wonderful qualities. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But if we want to go to his residence, at least we should have some qualities like him. Somewhere, something in common. Now, of course, Krishna has unlimited qualities. But even if we have a little bit of his qualities in minute quantity also, then there is some chance for us to get a entrance into Goloka Vrindavan. So now this Bhagavad Gita is more like a manual, like an instruction manual which Krishna has given to this humankind, that if you want to come back home, then this is the way, this is the map, you need to do this, do that, change your, thinking, mindset, what you are, what's your constitutional position. So it's very, very interesting. Now, just like in a school textbook, even if you don't want to go through the whole lesson, there is something called summary or the gist of it, the important points. You can just go through that, and that gives you a peek, what is there inside the whole lesson. Now, similarly, Bhagavad Gita, which has maybe 18 chapters, and 700 slokas, there are certain chapters in Bhagavad Gita which gives you a wholesome picture of what the whole Gita is about, the essence of Gita. Now, we know there is Gnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. So now this Bhakti Yoga is one which is like the topmost on the yoga ladder. We go from Karma to Gnana, Dhyana, Ashtanga and Bhakti Yoga. Now this Bhakti Yoga has been very clearly emphasized and glorified and spoken in details from chapter number 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The middle chapters. And then before we have Karma Yoga, and afterwards we have Gnana Yoga. So it's more like, when we take a sandwich, there are two pieces of bread, but what is inside, between the sandwich is what gives the taste, the spice and the salad inside the sandwich. So this Bhakti Yoga is right in the middle of Bhagavad Gita, the 6 chapters. Now, even among that 6 chapters of Bhakti Yoga, where Krishna speaks about demigod worship, and he talks about his energies, and he talks about how, what kind of death happens, and where do you go, and so many other things. And he also shows his universal form, which is pretty interesting and breathtaking, how Krishna is present everywhere in this world. But the most beautiful part of this whole 6 chapters which emphasize and glorify Bhakti Yoga is the last part of it, which is the 12th chapter, the Bhakti Yoga. And in that 12th chapter, 20 verses, the best part is the last part. When he's just about to end Bhakti Yoga and get into Gnana Yoga, there are 8 verses where Krishna speaks something very, very special. From this verse number 13 to verse number 20, which I personally very fondly call it Bhaktashtakam. Ashtakam is 8 verses, and in our spiritual journey, there are so many Ashtakams we, come across. There is Sikshashtakam and Krishnashtakam, Nandanandanashtakam, Sada Goswami Ashtakam, so many Ashtakams. But this is very special Ashtakam, Bhaktashtakam, where Krishna, for a change, is glorifying devotees. Usually devotees glorify Krishna. But in this Ashtakam, Krishna glorifies devotee, or rather, he defines devotee. He tells us whom does he like, or rather, if you want Krishna should love you or like you, what you should have, then Krishna will love you. So, of the all these 700 slokas, these 8 verses are very close to my heart, and I thought today I would like to share very briefly about these 8 verses and what Krishna expects from us. Of course, as we go on with the explanation, we will find that these qualities that Krishna expects from his devotees are very lofty, and we will be overwhelmed that really, is it possible that we can get these qualities sometime in life, or will each quality take a lifetime? But the whole thing is, at least if we know what's our goal, and at least if we know where are we headed to, or what are we trying to achieve, then someday, at least we will go halfway. And then like I'm just reminded of Benjamin Franklin. He wanted to, when he was a young gentleman, he wanted to develop some 16, 17 virtues, and he wrote it down. And one of his friends came and said, "Oh, really? Do you think you can get all these virtues?" And he said, "I'm not sure, but I've put it down. Let's see." So when he became 82, his friend visited him and he said, "Hey, I remember when you were a young man, you wrote down certain virtues that you wanted to develop. So now I ask you, as you lie down on your bed in the fag end of your life, did you get those qualities?" And he said, "No, I didn't. But the fact that I kept trying whole my life to get those qualities made me a wonderful human being." So, the qualities which Krishna explains in these 8 verses, around 31 qualities, very lofty. But at least if we keep it as a goal of our life, maybe someday, just to, just if we make an endeavor, even to get a little, slight, shadow of these qualities in our life, it will make us a beautiful person, peaceful person, a happy person. So today, as we go on these qualities in brief, we can actually check for ourselves if these qualities are present in us in Ichharup. Ichharup is, do we even have a desire to develop these qualities? Or is it in Abhyasa Rupa? Or maybe we like them and we are actually making a conscious endeavor to get them in our lives. Or they are in Siddha Rupa. That means we already got that quality, but once in a while, we just, fall down. We are unable to stay stable or consistent. Or is this quality already in us and we are consistent? On no given situation will we ever fall down from our state. So we can do that as we keep reading these qualities. So I'll start here. It is chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga, verse number 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm just going to go very quickly. So the first verse here, it says, Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitra karuna evacha nirmama nirahankara sama dukkha sukha shamim. So Krishna has started now the list. He says, Adveshta, I like a devotee who is non-envious. So if we want to become Krishna's favorite devotee, then we'll have to develop this quality in us. That is, we'll have to be non-envious of people around us. Now, how can we become non-envious? Somewhere, some point of time, seeing somebody, there may be some kind of a feeling in us. So, the acharyas, the Vaishnava acharyas, they give us a very good tip. They said, become a mother. A mother is never envious of one's child. See, I remember whenever I give my classes in the temple, I know I can very easily understand who are the children who are making noise during the class and whom do they belong to. Because if a child is making noise, and if the reaction of the lady is, why are these children making noise? They should have some sense. Parents are supposed to train them. Why are they making so much fuss? We are not able to understand the class. So we understand it's not her child who is playing outside or who is making noise in the temple hall. And if the lady, says, it's all right, they are children. If children don't make noise, who will make noise? You and me or what? They let them play, that's all right. So we understand it's her child. So what happens is that when you are a mother, you're so protective of your child. Similarly, when we bring that bhava of becoming a mother for everybody in this world. Oh, this person is a part and parcel of Krishna. I am part and parcel of Krishna. He is part and parcel of Krishna. We all belong to Krishna. When we develop that relationship, when we develop that bhavana, then we'll not feel envious of anybody. So Krishna says, I like a devotee who is non-envious. He sees everything in me and he sees everybody in me. He sees everybody as part and parcel of Krishna. And then he says, Adveshta Sarvabhutanam Maitra. Now, Adveshta for whom? Not only Gujaratis, Bengalis, no, or Americans. He's talking about Sarvabhutanam. Everybody he thinks as mine, his, and they are not envious. So, Adveshta Sarvabhutana Maitra. Krishna is saying, my favorite devotee is Maitra. That means he's friendly to everybody. He likes everybody. It's not that his friendship is limited to certain people. His love is unconditional. And that kind of devotee Krishna likes very much. To give you a mundane example, there was this girl and boy who had an affair for a long time now. They were meeting secretly. So one day this girl tells the boy, hey, it's enough. We've been meeting for a long time. I want to get married to you. The boy said, I'm fine. But the whole point is, as long as we are having an affair, you meet me, I meet you, we're having good time. But the moment you talk about marriage, it's not only me. You have to take care of my whole family. I have a father who is handicapped. I have a mother. She has some mental stress. I have a sister who is not married. I have a brother who has this issue. He has an anger issue. This. Are you ready to accept my whole family? Then you can marry me. As long as affair, it's okay. But marriage, you'll have to accept my whole family. That's what Krishna is asking from us. Krishna says, you want to marry me? Do you want to come back to my loka? You want to come back to Goloka? Then you'll have to accept every jiva in this world. If you want to marry me, because every jiva in this world is my family. So you may come across people who are angry, people who are sweet, people who are, little grumpy. Some are, different natures, different varieties. But if you love everybody unconditionally, then Krishna says, you're my favorite devotee. Then you can get married to me. You can come back to, Goloka, because you are loving everybody equally. So, Adveshta Sarvabhutana Maitra Karuna. Krishna is saying, my favorite devotee, he has compassion for everybody. Karuna. He's full of love and compassion for everybody. We see in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, the favorite devotees of Krishna, they were so compassionate. I'm just reminded of this one saint, Ekanath. He was making chapatis. And every time the chapati is made, he just puts it on the plate and puts a little ghee. Suddenly what happened that, as he was trying to take the chapati from the flame and put it down, a dog comes and takes the chapati and starts running. Now Sant Ekanath is also running behind him. And people are wondering, what is this? Just one chapati if the dog is taking, what's the big thing? So they stop the saint. Ekanath ji, stop it. Let him take the chapati, Baba. What is the big thing about it? He said, no, it's not about the chapati. The chapati doesn't have ghee. So I'm running with the spoon of ghee. I just want to put some ghee. Otherwise, how will the dog eat? It will not taste good. It doesn't have ghee. Now that's the compassion of the devotees. For them, everybody, even a dog for them, they love everybody. They have compassion for everybody. In the pages of Bhagavatam, we hear about Maharaj Shibi. We hear about Ranti Dev. They fasted for others' welfare. They were ready to cut and chop their own flesh just to protect a pigeon. So Krishna says, okay, now when we say all these examples, it becomes too lofty for us. No, I'm not ready to cut my flesh or sacrifice myself for others. I'm not on that stage. No problem. We can pray for others. Doesn't cost anything. We can pray for everybody in this world. Oh, Krishna, please help everybody. Show your mercy to everybody. So that way, Krishna is supreme compassionate. And we can have that little of his quality by praying to Krishna to be compassionate to everybody. So that's one thing we can do. So Adveshta Sarvabhutana Maitra Karuna Evacha Nirmama. Krishna says those who are Nirmama, they are my favorite devotee. So what is Nirmama? Now, everybody in this world has a sense of proprietorship. This is mine. It belongs to me. So Krishna says that those who don't have this sense of proprietorship, I like them. Now the question may arise in our mind, but how do I become like that? This flat actually belongs to me. It's registered on my name. This car is mine. This is my property. How will I bring that feeling in my mind that, this is not mine, or, how will I get rid of that mineness? Now the whole thing is, yes, this is your flat, this is your car, but the mentality that you can have, a little shift in the attitude is, this is Krishna's, but as of now it is under my care. That's the only change we can make. This is Krishna's house, but as of now it is under my care, so I have to take care of it. This is Krishna's car, but as of now it is under my care. This is Krishna's children, but as of now they are under my care. But this is required, otherwise at one point of time somebody may become irresponsible. Anyway, everything belongs to Krishna, nothing belongs to me, so why do I have to take care of my wife and children? Let Krishna take care. No, they are Krishna's, but as of now they are under your care, so you're responsible for them. So this way we can give up mama. Everything is Krishna's. As of now under my care, Krishna has given me this responsibility and I'm going to do it well. Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitra karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankara. The next quality Krishna says, I don't like a devotee who is full of ahankar. My favorite devotee is nirahankar. My favorite devotee does not have pride. Now the whole point is, if you love everybody and you are non-envious and you show compassion to all and you don't have the feeling of minus, where will the ahankara come? Where will the pride come? If you see in the seriation how Krishna has put these qualities, if you start developing 1 + 1 + 1, it just comes naturally. So where will be ahankar? Actually, the pride comes only because lack of knowledge. I remember as a young girl, when I went to see Taj Mahal, from very far on, the photographer will ask you, put your 2 hands, 2 fingers like this. And then they'll click a photograph in such a way that you will feel that the whole big Taj Mahal in Agra is just between your 2 hands. And then when you start actually walking towards it, you realize, oh, this is too big actually. But from far, it was just very small. Even when I was trying to put my hand and see, it was like only this much. But when you go close, it's huge. Now, why do we become, proud? It's because we don't have the knowledge of Krishna's opulence. So we are very proud about our 3-bedroom flat in Dallas or some studio apartment because we don't know about Krishna's opulence. But when we realize what is Krishna's opulence, how big is Krishna? So many planetary systems. There is a Devi Loka, there is Mahesha Loka. How this material world is just 1/4. The whole spiritual world is 3/4. There are so many planetary systems. How every second Mahavishnu, there are so many universes created like mustard seeds. There is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Shirodakshaya Vishnu, Karodakshaya Vishnu. How this whole thing takes place, and then we suddenly start feeling too small to be proud about anything. We feel, oh my God, where are we? Very insignificant. So the whole point is, they say, empty vessels make more noise. If we have little knowledge, then we make more noise. The trees which has lots of fruits are always bending down. So when we understand how big is Krishna, then there is no ahankara. So Adveshta Sarvabhutana Maitra Karuna Evacha Nirmama Nirahankara. And then Krishna says, Sama Dukkha Sukha. My favorite devotee, he's Sama, equipoised. How is he equipoised? In every situation. It's not that he becomes too happy when his jumps with joy when something nice happens. Neither he becomes very morose when something sad happens. In every situation, how is a devotee, able to remain like this equipoised in all situations? Because he knows that Krishna is his well-wisher. I remember, 20 years ago, when I was in my, college, intermediate, those days, anything that happens wrong in India, you see the news channel, they'll say, looks like there are some foreign forces behind this. Why is this happening? What is this happening? For everything, they will blame certain foreign country or certain neighbor that we are not very going well with, for everything they'll blame. Even if something which is very, local issue, they'll try to bring in that aspect of looking at the issue. That's what devotee does. For everything that happens in his life, he'll bring the Krishna aspect into it. No, actually, this is Krishna's mercy. Actually, this is Krishna's plan. Actually, this is Krishna's arrangement. And because he has full faith in Krishna as his well-wisher, he's equipoised, whether there is happiness or there is distress in his life. Then, in the next quality Krishna says is, Shami, my devotee is Shami, he forgives. My devotee is always forgiving. So that is, devotee of Krishna will never go for tit for tat. For devotee, because he understands he is temporary in this world. Devotee, he understands that he has a bigger task, he has a bigger challenge. He has to go back home, back to Godhead. He has to utilize this human birth in a proper way. So he will not get into petty things, and he will not give importance to petty things. Sometimes I'll be joking with the devotees. I'll tell them, even if you have lot of complaints or anger on somebody, for now you forgive him, but when you go back home to Krishna, you can make complaint. Because I remember as a young girl, when we used to play in the park and all, sometimes we fall down, playing some ball game or throw ball, and sometimes somebody pushes you. So I remember, somebody pushes, the first thing that will, come out from the child is, I'll tell my mother you have pushed me, I'll tell my father you have pushed me, and then that's how children, immediately they want, to go to the protection of their parents. So I tell the devotees, we should also think in our mind like this, oh, this person has done this to me, I forgive him for now, but when I go back to Krishna, I'm going to complain about this person. Something like, chai pe charcha, we can have something like that with Krishna. When we go back to Goloka, oh Krishna, this person in the material world was troubling me this way, this person was troubling me like this. And we can do all the complaints that we have. But now is not the time. When there is fire in the house, you're not worried about whether you have worn a blue t-shirt or a green t-shirt, or is it branded or not. The whole worry is the house is burning and I need to escape. The whole point is the material world is burning and we just need to escape. And at this moment we have no time to do tit for tat. He did that and she did that and he said that and she said that to me last year. We don't have time for that. So favorite devotee of Krishna, he's Shami. And at the end of the verse, Krishna will say, Yomad Bhakta Same Priyaha. Oh, that devotee is very dear to me. So, Adveshta Sarvabhutana Maitra Karuna Evacha Nirmama Nirahankara Sama Dukkha Sukha Shami. And then in the next verse, Krishna says, Santushta. My favorite devotee is Santushta. Santushta means he's satisfied. Now, sometimes devotees make a mistake between these two words, satisfied and saturated. Krishna is not talking about being saturated. Krishna is talking about being satisfied. For example, I love gulab jamuns. So you give me 1, 2, 3, 5, I'll be happy to take them. But on the 15th one, I'll say, enough, I'm satisfied. Actually, I'm not satisfied. I'm saturated. I can't eat anymore. My stomach is full. But if you give me the same gulab jamun tomorrow, I'll again eat it. That means I'm not satisfied. I'm saturated. Satisfied means for the rest of my life, I don't want gulab jamun. I'm satisfied. I already ate them. So Krishna is talking about a devotee here who is not saturated, but who is satisfied. Santushta. So he says, my devotee is Santushta. He is happy with whatever he has. This santushta or satisfaction feeling has to come from knowledge. It has to come from maturity. It has to come from understanding. It has to come from love of God. It should not come from, fulfillment of desire. If I wanted to have a car and I had it, and now I said, okay, now I'm satisfied. No. After fulfillment of desire, if you say you are satisfied, it's not satisfaction, because very soon a new desire is going to be born. And then again, persuasion to complete that desire. So satisfaction is a feeling which comes from knowledge and love of God. You love Krishna so much. You have such mature understanding that it's not that, you don't need them. You don't even have the feeling to, have them, or you don't even feel the need of it. So it's not that you are super rich or you have everything, available, but you don't have that, requirement, or you don't have that feeling that I want this or I want that. You are satisfied with whatever Krishna has given you. So Santushta Satatam Yogi. So Santushta and Satatam Yogi. You have to be yogi if you want to be Krishna's favorite devotee. The moment we talk about yogi, our feeling is one with a big beard and lots of hair, sitting under a tree. It's like, thin and, looks like malnutrition, haven't had food for a long time. No, that's not yogi. Yogi basically means yunjana, one who is connected to Krishna. So Krishna says, I like a devotee who is Satatam Yogi. Not that I'm yogi during Janmashtami time, or I'm yogi during certain festivals, but then again I have my own life too. No. Krishna says, you are always connected to me, then I love you. Something like, you have those CCTV cameras everywhere, and there are boards, you are under CCTV surveillance. We are always under Krishna's surveillance. And if we remain connected to Krishna, then Krishna becomes very happy. So Krishna's expectation from his favorite devotee is that he's always connected to Krishna, not only during favorable situations, but also during provocating situations in life. He's not connected to Krishna only when he goes to the temple. He's connected to Krishna even when he's presenting a PPT presentation in his office. He's connected to Krishna even when he's in the Kroger buying some grocery. He's connected to Krishna even while he's driving, while cooking, talking. He's always connected to Krishna. Satatam Yogi. So Krishna says, Santushta Satatam Yogi Yatatma. My favorite devotee is Yatatma, means self-control. Not only does he control his senses, he engages his senses in my service. That's why these words have been kept together. Satatam Yogi Yatatma. Yogi means being connected to Krishna. Yatatma means, remain connected to Krishna. So yogi is getting connected and Yatatma is remaining connected to Krishna. So Santushta Satatam Yogi Yatatma. Dhrida Nischaya. Krishna says, my devotee is having firm determination. In every situation he'll worship me. Not that if I fulfill his desires, he'll worship me. If today I haven't fulfilled his desire, he'll start worshipping Shiva, Durga or somebody else. Okay, anyway, you're not fulfilling my desire. No. In every situation, no matter what happens in his life, he's faithful to Krishna. He loves Krishna, surrendered to Krishna. Krishna is always his first priority. Krishna is the main course. It's not something like a salad or a pickle or something which no, Krishna is the first priority in his life. So Santushta Satatam Yogi Yatatmam Dhrida Nischaya Mayyarpita Mano Buddhi. Krishna says, my favorite devotee is one who gives me two things, mana and buddhi. Krishna wants mind and intelligence. He's not asking for our body. That's anyway perishable. Krishna is saying, I want your mind and I want your intelligence. And that is so beautiful. In this world, people are only, want our bodies and our opulence. But Krishna wants our heart, I'm reminded of a small story which we had, I think every child who has, gone through a formal school education, this story of monkey and the crocodile, how the monkey and the crocodile were friends and the crocodile wanted to cheat the monkey. So he said, my wife has cooked for you some nice delicacies, please come and have it. So he takes the monkey on his, back and he swims across the river. And in the middle of the river, he says, well, actually, I'm cheating you. My wife wants to eat you because she heard that the monkey's heart is very soft and crispy. So now the monkey feels cheated, but he doesn't lose his composure. He says, really? You want to eat my heart? Oh, I forgot to tell you. Actually, my heart was wet with emotions. I just kept it on the branch of the tree to dry it. If you would have told me, I would have bring my heart. I've kept it there. We'll have to go back and fetch it. So they again go back. And then the monkey gets on the tree and says, no, I'm not coming back anymore. You are a cheater. So what did the monkey say? Oh, my heart, I've left it on the branch of the tree. Similarly, as devotees, we have to keep our heart with Krishna. So we can, keep interacting with people with our body and all, but heart is for Krishna. So here Krishna says, Mayarpita Manobuddhi, give me your intelligence, give me your mind, that kind of devotee. And then he puts this line, Yo Mad Bhakta Same Priyaha, that kind of devotee I like so much. Priya, that word is so beautiful. He says Priya, they are my Priya. He doesn't say, to that kind of devotee I'll show mercy. They're two different things. Krishna is not talking about mercy here. He's saying, I love them. They are my favorite. They're my Priya. And we really want to become Krishna's Priya. The next verse, Krishna says, Yasmano dvijate loko lokano dvijate chayaha. He says, those who are my favorite devotees, they don't disturb anybody and they don't get disturbed by anybody. Now, this is so logical. Why will they disturb anybody? They are like drunkard. Somebody is a drunkard. He'll be so much in himself. Similarly, the devotees of Krishna are so much, in love with Krishna, and they're thinking about Krishna. They're not going to disturb anybody, and they don't get disturbed also. This is something like, I don't know, but in India, these air conditioners and these air coolers, they're very noisy. If some AC or air cooler is running in the room now, you can't hear anybody is even shouting your name or knocking the door also, you can't hear. They make so much noise. So you have to literally like bang the door, and then they'll say, oh, who is this? Because the air cooler is making so much noise. Similarly, in the devotee's mind and heart, Krishna is making so much noise. They are so much in love with Krishna that they are not disturbed by outside external situations. There is always peace inside. Whatever, no matter loud happening outside, doesn't even make an echo inside, because they are completely connected to Krishna and they don't disturb others. And then in the next line, Krishna says, Harsha Marsha Bhayo Dvege Mukto Ya Sachame Priyaha. I like a devotee who is equipoised in happiness, in distress, in fear, and anxiety. How can a devotee be equipoised in all situations? He can be equipoised because he knows that this is all temporary and this will pass. Nothing remains, permanently. We are temporary in this world, and all these situations are going to pass. And even though the situation is not under my control as of now, but it is always under Krishna's control. A devotee knows that. So he has no fear, he has no anxiety. In the next verse, Krishna says, Anapeksha, my devotee doesn't have any expectations. Why devotee does not have any expectation? Because he knows this is a temporary world. He has expectation only from Krishna. Whatever he wants from Krishna. He doesn't want anything of this material world. Anapeksha. I'm just reminded of this devotee, Alvars. In the South India, there are these devotees called Alvars. Alvar is one who's drowning in love of Krishna. They're called Alvars in the Tamil language. Now, there was this one Alvar. He was all, torn off clothes, sitting, outside a temple. And he had some rug, some blanket. And it was torn. So he was trying to stitch it. Now, to stitch, you need a needle. And there is this thread has to go in the eye of the needle. He was trying to do that. And Shiva and Parvati were, passing by. So Parvati Devi tells Shiva, why can't we give him some boon? So Shiva comes down and then, they ask him, we're very happy to see a pure devotee like you. Can we give you something? He says, no, I don't need anything, No, I insist. Lord Shiva says, I insist. Please ask me something. He said, okay, if you insist, actually this thread is not able to go inside the, eye of the needle. Can you do this for me? That's all I want. He never asked for any opulence. He never asked for another blanket. He never asked anything. Because he understands this world is temporary. Even if I ask 100 things, what will I do? Anyways, I can't carry it. So that is a devotee. Anapeksha. No expectations, no desire. Suchi. Suchir daksha udasino gatavyatha. A devotee is Suchi. Suchi means he is clean. Clean inside and clean outside. It's not that, devotee means he just takes 3 times bath, so he's clean. No, he's even clean inside. How is he clean inside? Just like when you go for a party, sometimes if some juice spills on you, especially the coconut water, very dangerous. If the coconut water spills on your sari, it doesn't go very quickly, it remains the dag, it remains. So what you do, if you are just, you're in middle of the party, but if it's spilled on your sari, you will rush to the restroom and try to get it off your sari, because afterwards it will not go. The strain becomes so prominent. Similarly, a devotee is so careful. As soon as a wrong bhava, comes in his heart, he will not keep it. He will immediately brush it aside, because he knows if he allows it, for some more time, then it will make an impact on his spiritual life. So he'll immediately clean his mind from any dirty thoughts. So anapeksha suchi, devotee is clean inside and outside. Daksha, devotee is expert. Expert in what? He is expert in remaining fixed in Krishna consciousness in all situations. And then Krishna says, Udasino, my favorite devotee is uninvolved. Why is he uninvolved with the material world? Because he's involved in a divine affair with Krishna. So he's not interested in any other affairs of this world. Udasino gata vyatha. Gata vyatha means he's free from anxiety. Why is he free from anxiety? Because he knows Krishna does not only drive the chariot of Arjuna, he drives everybody's chariot. He is there in the driving seat, and we don't have to worry. When the driver is expert, you can always take a nap. You can always doze off. So that is why Gata Vyatha, devotee is free from anxiety. Sarva Arambha Parityagi. Devotee, Sarva Arambha Parityagi means he does not make any endeavor for himself. But for Krishna, 200% endeavor. Why will he not make endeavor for himself? Because he knows this world is temporary. A devotee is choiceless. He doesn't have, I want this, I should do this, this has to happen this way only. No, he's choiceless. Whatever happens, he simply watches it happening. He's an audience, he's not a doer. Next, at the end of this verse, Krishna again says, Yo mad bhakta same priyaha. The whole beauty of this 8 verses is, at the end of every verse, Krishna will say, that kind of devotee is very dear to me. And that word, that dear, takes our heart away. The next verse, Krishna says, Yo na harshati, na dveshati, na sochati, na kanshati, shubha shubha, parityagi bhakti mane same priyaha. My devotee doesn't have any complaint. He's neither very happy, neither angry, no tension, no anxiety. Why all this with the devotee? Because devotee is like a bank manager. A bank manager is not in anxiety, or a cashier in a bank is not in anxiety when you deposit money or you withdraw money. Neither is very happy when you deposit money, because he knows whether you deposit the money or you withdraw the money, what he has to do with it. He's simply a cashier. It's not his personal money. He's not gaining anything out of it. So that is why devotee, apparently when he's successful or he's unsuccessful, he doesn't make a big fuss about it. Because anyway, he knows everything belongs to Krishna and we are temporary in this world. So we're just doing the job of a cashier in the bank. It's not belongs to us. As of now, we've been assigned to do a certain karma or certain activities. Now we come to the last part of the 8 verses. Krishna says, Sama Shatrocha Mitrecha. My devotee is equipoised. He is in a Sama Bhava. With whom? With people. For him, nobody is enemy, nobody is friend. Then he says, Mana Apamanayo. My devotee is in Sama Bhava with situation. If you see this whole verse very beautifully, Krishna will, very serially, he will explain how devotee is equipoised with people, situation, body, mind. He will say, Sama Shatrocha Mitrecha. My devotee is equal with everybody, no enemy, no friend. Then he'll say, Man apamanayo. Even if he is respected, he is disrespected. Same, no equipoise, no difference. Sita Ushna. Sita Ushna means whether it is hot or cold. He is same way. See, actually there is a saying in English. By nature, man is a fool. When it is hot, he wants it cold. When it is cold, it wants it hot, always wanting that which is not. So that's our nature. If it's raining, we are like, oh, it's been raining whole day today. I couldn't, dry my clothes. Okay, so what do you want? Summer? Or if it's summer, we feel, oh, it's so hot today. I've been sweating whole day. Okay, you want winter? Oh, it's so cold today. I couldn't even get up from my bed. So what do you want? So our nature is, when it is hot, we want it cold. When it is cold, we want it hot. Always wanting that which is not. But those were Krishna's favorite devotee. They are sama. Whether it is hot or cold, whether respect or disrespect, whether enemy or friend, they are equal. Sukha or dukkha, they are equal. Sangha vivarjitaha. Krishna's devotees, they are free from all kind of associations. They don't associate themselves with a particular jati, person, situation. They don't talk like, I am Gujarati, I am Bengali, I am American, she is African. They don't talk like that. Sangha vivarjitaha. They don't associate themselves like that. Tulya ninda stutir mauni. Tulya ninda, stuti. Stuti means glorification. Ninda means criticism. Tulya ninda stuti means a devotee of Krishna, whether you criticize him or you glorify him, oh, you are so great, he has the same reaction. There will be no difference in his reaction. Why? Because his source of happiness is Krishna. It's like you don't change yourself or you don't change your hairstyle by looking at a broken piece of glass. Because if you do that, you will look ugly. The glass is broken. It can't give you a correct picture of how you are looking. And imagine you start adjusting your hairstyle according to the broken glass, you will be duped. So similarly, the people in this world, they may make so many complaints. At one point, they may glorify you. You are great. At one point, they may criticize you. But they're all pieces of broken glass. So what's the point of changing ourselves according to them? Our source of happiness is Krishna. And we want to change our attitude, behavior, nature according to what Krishna likes. And that he has already said in this 12th chapter, what he expects from his favorite devotee. So Tulya Ninda Stutir Mauni. Krishna's devotee is Mauni. Mauni means, will he wear a badge? I am in silence and doesn't talk? No, he talks, but he doesn't talk that which is not connected to Krishna. He's always in consciousness of Krishna and he relates everything to Krishna. And he doesn't waste time in unnecessary talks. Santushta. Again here Krishna talks about Santushta, which he spoke about earlier. So here it says, Tulya Ninda Suti Mauni Santushta Yena Kenachit Aniketa. Oh, Krishna's devotee? Aniketa does not have house. Oh, really? That means anybody who becomes Krishna's devotee should not have residence? No. He can have residence, but he doesn't have that in his heart. He can have money in his money purse, but he doesn't carry money in his heart. That means he doesn't give it so much importance to the temporary residence. He understands, okay, this is temporary, this is Krishna's, but as of now under my care. So Aniketa, he is not attached that this is my house. So Aniketa, Stiramati. Krishna's devotee has an unwavering mind. Sthira Mati. He's always same. Because he's engaged to Krishna. Something like, once you are engaged to get married, you are engaged. Now you don't keep changing partners. So they're engaged to Krishna. Stiramati. They'll not change it under any situation. They always surrender to Krishna, have faith on Krishna and love Krishna. And then Krishna says, Bhakti Mame Priyo Naraha. That kind of devotee I like very much. And then he ends this chapter saying the same thing, that those who are faithful to me, who are my devotee, who keep me in their mind, I'm for them. And these kind of devotees are very, 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 he uses 3 times, very, very, very dear to me. So, this is the goal of our life. We love Krishna. We want to go back to him. And if you want to go back to Goloka, Loka is planet, Go is where Krishna is with the cows, then we'll have to, get all these qualities and somehow butter him, impress him, and go back to his divine shelter. So with this, I end it here, dear devotees. Thank you so much. And I hope you enjoyed going through all the 31 qualities that Krishna wants to see in his favorite devotee. I pray for you, pray for me, pray for everybody who has joined this session from the core of my heart, that may we develop all these qualities and become Krishna's favorite devotee. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. What a wonderful, lovely topic and explanation. Beautifully you picked up this Ashtakam, Bhakta Ashtakam from chapter 12 and went over to become Krishna's favorite devotee. I also loved the way you said that when you marry someone, it's okay to have an affair, then you have fun. But if you really want a permanent relationship, you will need to accept everyone. And if we want to go to Golok, Krishna's abode, then we will have to develop that love for everybody that belongs to Krishna. Thank you so much. So many personal takeaways I got, and I would like to ask some questions just to get further clarification into the topic. So you went over lots of qualities, non-envious, becoming friendly to everyone, have unconditional love, and so on. So one of them is like the example of motherly love. In a temple, children are making noise, and we want to accept everybody and have compassion for everyone. Now, how does it work when you have to truly discipline someone, and if you have to correct the wrongs that are happening in the society or in your organization or in the family or wherever you are? So how do we work with that and keep that balance?
Wonderful. Very nice question. That how do we do it practically, especially if we are in management? We may have to find out, not find out, we may have to point out is the right word, point out somebody's fault or discipline him. So are we being envious when we are trying to point out somebody's fault or rectifying them? No. Envious is, in particular when you are, trying to find out fault for your own satisfaction. Somewhere like, I remember, once I was, telling to one of my devotees in the temple, oh, did you hear the kirtan today? So beautifully that devotee sang. Is it not? I was just sharing it. And that came the response. Yeah, he sings well, but did you see how much rice he eats in the plate? Or did you see he doesn't even come for the Mangala Arati? Now, the whole point is, I was talking about how well he sings, but he's trying to point out other faults. Now, this is enviousness. But when we are in management, then we are, it's like we are doing it as a seva, as a service. We really love them from the core of our hearts, but it's just that we want that they should improve and the overall health of organization should improve. So we have to point out certain fault. But I tell you, people understand the language of heart and the language of love. If you really don't mean it to hurt them or criticize them, and it's purely coming out of affection, they will understand it, that yeah, he's telling it for my own well-being. Another thing that I would like to give you a small tip, me being a manager here and managing the temple, I have understood one thing. When you have invested enough in somebody's spiritual life, then you can make a withdrawal. But if you haven't invested, whatever you say, they will take it negatively. They will think you are envious of them. But if you have positively made deposits, you can always withdraw a check. But if your deposit is less and then you try to make an overdraft, the whole relationship becomes bitter. And the person that you are trying to improve, even he or she will feel so bitter about it. So before correction, affection. That's the, what do you say, the punchline. Give a lot of affection. Give so much affection that your little correction will not make that big impact. They will like it. They will change it. They'll change themselves.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Love the keep on depositing, then you can withdraw. Very nice. Now, all these qualities, as we all live in the material world and we are trying to work on becoming Krishna's favorite devotee, how do we work on that? Is there any spiritual practice or anything you recommend, or how will this come? Any practical tools?
Okay, very nice question. That what spiritual practice should we follow that so that these qualities will manifest in us, and how do we go about it? Now it's like this. The whole Krishna conscious practice that we are doing, getting up early in the morning, chanting, doing japa of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, eating sattvic diet, eating the right things, associating with the right people, reading the right things, exposing our senses to the right content. All this is going to affect our consciousness, our behavior. It's like, we are what we eat. If we're taking sattvic diet, which is not rajasic and tamasic, definitely there will be a change in your nature. If we are associating with the right people, definitely there will be, some kind of impression. In fact, Padma Puran says that, you get 1% of the quality of people whom you are regularly associating with, or about whom you are regularly hearing. So if we are, exposing our ears to the right content, our eyes to the right content, using our tongue to speak about the right things, definitely all these qualities will eventually develop. So we have to, restrain our senses, or rather engage our senses in the right way. Then all this will manifest. But if we think that we can do whatever we want to do and automatically this thing will come up, it will not come. We'll have to make a conscious effort. So what are we seeing with our eyes? Now, I remember when I was a young girl, the cartoon that we used to watch, in Doordarshan was Charlie Chaplin. It was very funny. He falls down and somebody, something happens, and it was so nice. And we used to laugh and laugh, or Laurel and Hardy or something, how they just trip and fall. But just see what today's children are watching. What they're simply watching is kill this guy. Blood comes out. Come on, push this guy. The blood comes out, fighting. What will happen when they watch this kind of content? They just want to practically again do it. They want to actually bash up somebody. And that's why I'm running a school here. And there are so many complaints. The parents come and tell me, my child is doing like this at home, doing like that. And, this is what is happening. So the right content, eyes has to watch the right thing. The ears has to watch the right thing. Then slowly all these qualities will manifest in us. So it's not going to happen by, we can't outsource everything. We can't outsource Krishna. Krishna, I will chant your name. Please give me these qualities. It doesn't work. We can't outsource everything to Krishna. Certain things we'll have to work on our own, strength. We'll have to work hard on it. So we'll have to consciously put in an effort. So engaging our senses in the right thing, it's like A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A is association, right association. B is books, write books. C is chanting. Chant the mantras. D is diet. Take the proper diet. So if you follow this A, B, C, D, then slowly and steadily, but for sure, these qualities will develop.
Thank you, Mataji. So all these spiritual practices we can follow, and also in our scriptures there is so much importance of seva. So how does that play a role? And is sadhana more important, seva more important, and how does that help in becoming Krishna's favorite devotee?
Okay, this is a very good question. So actually there are two bodies we have. Our soul is covered by two bodies. One is the gross body and one is the subtle body. The gross body is made up of 5 elements, and the subtle body is made up of mind, ego, and intelligence. There is no problem with this gross body because we keep changing it. After the soul leaves the body, the gross body will be, into the earth, and we don't have to worry about it. But the worry is the subtle body. It does not leave us. It's with us all the time, no matter which species we go into. So this mind, ego, and intelligence, this subtle body, which is made up of mind, ego, and intelligence, is very dangerous. There is no refund policy. It's not that we have purchased it in Amazon and after 10 days we can return it. There is no return policy. It's with us for lives after lives. So we have to work on these 3 aspects, because this mind, ego, and intelligence is making us take birth again and again and again. Now, how to control this mind? The scriptures say that you do mantra. If you do mantra, mind is controlled. Okay, very good. How do I control my intelligence or purify it? The scriptures say, read scriptures. If you read scriptures, the intelligence is purified. Okay, mind is controlled, intelligence is purified. What should I do with my false ego? Now, this false ego can be purified when we do seva. So here comes the seva aspect. When we serve in a spiritual organization, our spiritual mentors, our co-devotees, then what happens? Our intelligence is, our ego is subdued. Just like Krishna subdued the Kaliya snake, our ego is like a snake, and that will be subdued only when we serve others in a humble state of mind. So this is why seva is very important. If you don't do seva, it's very difficult to subdue your ego. You may do chanting, you may read scriptures, but ego will still remain. But when you serve, that's over. That then the ego also gets subdued. And when this mind ego intelligence is controlled or dovetailed in the right way, then this whole process of taking body again and again and again will come to a stop, and we'll go back home, back to Godhead, to Sri Krishna.
Wonderful. So beautifully you explained. So, Mataji, I have it like here we are talking about becoming Krishna's favorite devotee, following certain spiritual practices, doing seva, having good thoughts. All of these are all wonderful. And many times what happens in real life, in practical implementation, seekers have difficulties at home because not everybody is on the same path. So how do we work with the situations when all the family members or relatives are not aligned with the same goal of going to Golok and becoming Krishna's favorite devotees? What advice or suggestions they should follow such that they can still continue their progress?
Very good question, and a popular one, because everybody will, has this problem that not everybody in my house is a devotee. Not everybody in my house wants to go back to Krishna. So what should I do? How should I deal with them? So it's like that. Sometimes, when the street lights are off, you just switch on your mobile phone into the small torch in your mobile phone, and you start taking one step, and then you start taking one step. So that's how it is. It's very difficult. We can't change the world. We can't change the society. We can't change people. We can't change family members. The only thing that we can change is ourselves. So what we can do is we can keep our goal fixed. And instead of trying to change them, whatever we are doing, we should continue doing. And when they see us in a, reacting or responding in the right way, there will be some changes in them also. Sometimes, I'm forgetting that author, very beautifully, he says that what you are doing is so loud in my ears that what you are saying I can't hear. So sometimes, our behavior will actually bring about change. People sometimes think that preaching means you talk, 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 talk. You tell about Krishna to somebody, but sometimes preaching is not about talking. It's just about you, your whole presence, your existence, your behavior. And that itself becomes a big preaching to people in our family. Now, I tell you, to preach to people around the world, it's very easy because they don't see you 24 hours. But your family sees you 24 hours. And they may be seeing so many sides of you, which people don't see. So, of course, familiarity breeds contempt. It's very difficult to actually make them, devotee or something like that. So what we can do is we can at least keep our behavior so exemplary, so transparent, without any hypocrisy, and try to follow what we are following very sincerely. And definitely there will be some change in their heart and some transformation. At the same time, even if there is no change or no transformation, we can always continue it from our side by being nice to people, kind to people, remembering Krishna always, just like the gopis. It's not that the gopis had great cooperation from their house. Their husbands were not allowing them to meet Krishna, and their mother-in-laws and their family members, but they still continued loving Krishna and serving Krishna. So basically, what is spiritual life? We just follow certain diet and we chant, read, hear, And I think that much freedom everybody has to continue in their house. What you are chanting, reading, hearing, especially with the Zoom and internet facilities and smartphones, nobody bothers what you are hearing inside your earphones. So yes, we can continue our spiritual practice. Nobody is, stopping us that what you are chanting, unless until we make a show of it with a big bag and please don't disturb me, I'm chanting now. Family members are not cooperative, and I'm just talking on a practical basis, what happens? You can always do it, like we do it sometime with the counting machine. We just chant our rounds, just hear what we are supposed to read, maintain sattvic diet, whatever we are supposed to eat, even if they are not cooperating. Because they are all carrying their baggage from previous life and their karma. So they won't change according to our karma or our whims and fancies. They have their own previous baggage. And when right time comes, they will change. But the whole point is, if we do our things nicely and pray to Krishna, Krishna will bring about changes in them. We can make an endeavor, but as Krishna says, no expectation of the result. Keep trying, and to make them devotees. Like I have this word which I always use. I say push. Push. Push means pray until something happens. Keep praying and keep praying and keep praying. Because you and me can't change the world, can't change people. Only Krishna can do it. Krishna can change anybody's heart. So we just pray. Whatever is possible, we do to try and change them by giving them lots of love and affection. If it doesn't happen, we pray to Krishna. But I usually see that love never fails. If we do our best, there will definitely be some change in their heart if they are reasonable, unless and until if they're carrying too much baggage from their previous life.
Beautiful answer. Thank you so much. And my last question for today's session: to become that favorite devotee of Krishna, to develop that love for God, to develop that deep hunger for love for God, what can we do to make that appetite stronger, to be more hungry, so that we put in more efforts? People who are on the path, we don't have so much hunger, we don't have tears coming out for him all the times. One tool, most powerful tool according to you, that you can tell us, which will help us increase our hunger, love for God, love for Krishna?
Now, this answer, I can make it very long, but if it asks me in one sentence, Srila Prabhupada, my Param Guru Maharaj, when he was asked this question, he said, what do you do if you want to become a drunkard? Do you read books on, what are the different liquors available? No, you simply go to a bar and, associate with a drunkard and you'll become a drunkard, that's all. So even if, it's not about reading books and all, just, go and associate with somebody who has tears for Krishna, somebody who's really serious in their spiritual life, somebody has made Krishna Loka, Goloka, as the goal of his life. Just associate with that kind of devotee and we will become like that, because Krishna consciousness is contagious, and it's more contagious than coronavirus. You associate with Krishna's devotee and you will become, there is no escape. You will also become Krishna's devotee, favorite devotee.
Thank you so much. Truly appreciate all the knowledge, explanation, and questions you have answered. I'm sure it's benefiting to everyone who is watching this and listening to you. And I personally have learned so much, all the wonderful qualities as devotees that we should be working upon to become Krishna's favorite devotee. My heartfelt gratitude to you for taking time to grace the occasion. And also I would like to invite you here. If you ever come to USA, we have Radha Krishna Temple in Dallas. We would love to welcome you and host you. If you ever are in the area, please do plan to come here.
Thank you so much. I was also very happy to associate with everybody. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.